national media looking at the Patriots is like, yeah, there's an improvement here, but something's to come? Like there'll be a regression? Like Bears 14, Chargers coming at 15. And then it's Jacksonville. So maybe the AFC isn't as good as maybe we all think. But to me, the Patriots top 12 team. That's just my opinion on that. Also, one other thing I wanted to mention tonight, we'll get into more of the Patriots stuff. Their schedule is out. There's a big write-up regarding their schedule today, and I did want to get over to that in a minute. But the playoff predictor is out. I'll give you what the percentage for the Patriots to make the playoffs is in just a bit. But I think tonight we should talk about the return of Brad Marchand. He returned after the trade, after being traded, but he was injured at the time, and he has not come back to Boston playing for the Panthers on the ice. So it's going to be really the return of Brad Marchand tonight. He was just a big part of what Florida did, winning back-to-back championships. They don't win back-to-back without Brad Marchand. I think we can all say that. But, I think the Bruins did Brad Marchand a favor trading him to Florida. I think ultimately they knew that Marchand wanted more years and more money. And when it was reported that they were really at 3 years and the money was just a little bit more, I was like, no way. Nope. Don't do it. The Bruins did Brad Marchand a huge favor. They sent him to a contender. And in the end, he got way more money. He got paid. He would have never gotten that money here. If he did get that money here, it would have hampered the Bruins for years to come. So, there's a lot of things you can say about Brad Marchand. What I can tell you is Hall of Famer. Relatable, right? When it comes to being a hockey fan, most people around here, you can relate to Brad Marchand. He was tough. He was gritty. He wasn't the biggest guy. He played with better players than him, but he always persevered. And his play style resonated with you. And he was somewhat of a rat and would get his nose dirty and would lick other people and do all sorts of things. But you know what? He was a damn good hockey player. He's one of the best shorthanded goal players I've ever seen in my life. And he was a great Boston Bruin. Now, his leadership, on the other hand, I think he led by example. He wasn't a great captain, but when you look back at last year's team, was there any helping that team? I mean, he was probably the vocal leader when it came to Jeremy Swayman missing time. I still want to blame Don Sweeney for allowing the coach, the goaltender, and Brad Marchand to go into the year without a contract. Like, that's on them. But looking back on it, the Bruins did a favor to Brad Marchand. He got way more money than what he got here. And the Bees, they'll get a first-round pick in the future. And something to look at tonight, Bruins were not good on that road trip. So I hope they're focused tonight to get a win. I know the Marchand stuff will be there. I know not all the guys play with Brad Marchand. Maybe that's one of the good things about the turnover in the roster. But the Hall of Fame journey for Brad Marchand comes to Boston tonight. A paid man who's got more hardware and jewelry. And when you look at it, Bergeron, Chara, Krejci, Rask, all those guys, one championship. Brad Marchand, 2. And he should be celebrated tonight. He should be cheered. And at some point, they should already plan the date to put number 63 into the rafters. So we got the Patriots on the table and where they're currently at in the rankings. And Brad Marchand's return to the Garden tonight. We'll leave it there at 617-779-0985. I do want to take a look at the Patriots schedule as well. And there's some Bill Belichick news out there. We'll take a quick break. I'm Joe Murray. You're listening to 98.5 The Sports Hub.
Don't go anywhere. There's more Joe Murray. On the way on 98.5 The Sports Hub.
Florida Panthers head to Boston tonight, take on the Bruins. Bees off their road trip. They went 0-3. I got a lot of thoughts on that. It wasn't good, and they haven't been good. And if they continue to have all these penalties like they've been adding up, well, the Panthers have a very good power play. I'll leave it at that. We'll get into that coming up in just a little bit. That was Drake May to Kayshon Boutte. I'm ready for the May Boutte shirts. May to Boutte. May Boutte 2025? I don't know. May to Boutte. May the booty be with you. As I watch River and Kevin Majore back there, get a little chuckle out of it. But we all love May and we all love Boutte, right? That's where we're at this point. I know you got something back there for me, Kevin, on that one.
I don't have any T-shirt ideas, but the "We All Love Boutte" is a good one.
We all love Boutte. Boutte, rocking everywhere. Yes, the connection between Drake May and Kayshon Boutte's real. And I was thinking about it. Kayshon Boutte, when he actually was drafted, played in the first game of the year, and his toesies got on the line there. Remember? The nice little run to come back. His toesies hit the line, and I think he got buried from Bill Belichick. Buried. And then he had a horrible offseason with gambling and all sorts of other things. And, well, he made some pretty decent plays last year. But it was always Drake May who wasn't the starter a year ago. Who was he working with on the second unit as the backup to Jacoby Brissett, by the way? Yeah, think about that one now. He was working with Kayshon Boutte. They have this dynamic, just chemistry, back shoulder throws, deep balls. They know where each other are. And, you know, it's something you just, when a receiver and a quarterback have that kind of chemistry, it's real. We talked with Doug Kite about this last night. I think they should look to extend him. They can do it in the offseason. So I think that's one of their priorities. I hope he stays healthy. But, you know, there's always this talk of get a number one receiver and all that. I think that he's at least Drake May's number one receiver when it comes to making plays. But he looks for Stephon Diggs, right? On third down. He knows Hunter Henry is there. So this is why Drake May is on this MVP campaign, because of how he can stretch that field. And just how about just how perfect he's been when it comes to completion percentage. Like, I can't even remember the 2 incomplete passes from the weekend. But speaking of Drake May, and I do want to get into the NFL playoff simulator when it comes to where teams will rank in the playoffs. I'll give you the Patriots numbers coming up in a bit. And, of course, you can call in at 617-779-0985. But the odds are out. Last week, Drake May was plus 1,100, essentially, to be the MVP of the league. He's now up to third on FanDuel. Right now on DraftKings, he's plus 800 to win the award. Baker Mayfield's still ahead of him, which is, after last night, laughable. And then Patrick Mahomes and Josh Allen. I think at some point, Josh Allen and Drake May are going to have that showdown, which will decide. But as of right now, May's in the conversation. He absolutely belongs in the conversation. Just to give you a couple other awards for the Patriots as far as betting notes, to make the playoffs, minus 550. Holy smokes. So, I mean, at 5-2 right now, you've already heard Drake May, even Mike Vrabel reference playoffs when speaking. It's like they already kind of think that they're preparing for that playoff run already, which is good. Fine, that's good. Just, you know, you still got the Browns this weekend. You got the Falcons. You got the Bucks coming up. You got the Bills again. I mean, there's some games in there that still could go the other way. Also, just another odd to throw out there, Mike Vrabel's plus 290 for Coach of the Year. He's still behind Shane Steichen, who I think should be the Coach of the Year at this point. He's plus 150, but last week it was Mr. Duval, and Liam Cohen fell from plus 800 to plus 3,000. So, sorry, Mr. Duval. That didn't work out in your favor. But Shane Steichen right now, plus 150. But when it comes to the playoffs, I gave you those numbers regarding the Patriots, and, you know, Jeremy Fowler has them as the 12th best team in the league. So The Athletic came out with the 2025 NFL playoff simulator, each team's path to the postseason. So the current standings right now in the AFC have the Colts 1 seed, Patriots 2, Broncos 3, Steelers 4. The Bills would be in there, the Chargers would be in, and the Jaguars would be in. The one team that wouldn't be in the playoffs at the moment is the Chiefs. The Bengals are hanging around along with the Texans. So that's how it looks. So now they did their projections, the 2025 simulator. This is where you'll find everything you need regarding the team and their playoff and where they're going to match up with based off buys, division winners, et cetera, et cetera. So the Patriots right now have a 92% chance of making the playoffs. That's where that minus 550 number is coming in. They have a 57% chance of winning the division. They have a 17% chance of a first round bye. And holy smokes, a 6% chance at winning the Super Bowl. I can't even believe I've mentioned that. But they have a 6% chance at the Super Bowl. So the projected standings, this is where the simulator comes in. They have the Colts as the number 1 seed at 12-5. They have the Patriots winning the AFC East at 11-6. That means that they're in. The Chiefs find a way in to win their division at 11-6, and the Steelers win their division at 9-8. So the top 4 seeds would be the Colts, Patriots, Chiefs, Steelers. The Bills make the playoffs. They finish 11-6, but lose the tiebreaker to the Patriots. And then the 2 other AFC West teams get into the playoffs. The Broncos at 10-7, the Chargers at 10-7. So the teams that are left out are the Jaguars, the Ravens, and the Texans. So, I mean, if the Patriots were the number 2 seed in the playoffs and won the AFC East, I would literally, if I could, I would do a cartwheel. And this is where they're projected right now based off their schedule, based off the odds, based off everything, injuries, you name it. And the playoff predictor would never have had this 7 weeks ago. The Patriots have the second highest odds to make the playoffs of any team. The Colts have the highest odds, and really, if you look at their conference at the moment or their division, not good. Not good at all. So, again, the Patriots right now, when it comes to their odds, everything is going their way. I was reading from Tom Curran today. The Patriots' rise through the NFL ranks is awakening a long, dormant feeling. And I believe it was David Andrews yesterday who was on the station who basically said he's enjoying this because it's been a long time since they can enjoy football, so they're not being too critical. But, Connor Orr over at the MMQB had the 5-2 Patriots winners of 4 straight, including at Buffalo, as the betting favorite before the Patriots beat them. So, I mean, there are people who looked into this a little bit. But doesn't it feel better? Like, don't you expect the Patriots this week to go up against a rookie quarterback and their defense play better? Ground and pound and Drake May plays well against the top defense in football. I know when a team comes home, generally they can be tired, but Cleveland's coming off a win at home. Now they go back out on the road, a rookie on the road. Just to me, I'll always go back to the coach and the quarterback. I don't think it's going to be easy this week. But I think the Patriots last week tried to run the football and start running the football, because I think if you're going to beat Cleveland next week, you're going to have to run the ball because you won't be able to be one-dimensional. Their pass rush is good. They have a good little secondary in there as well. But it must feel good today, knowing the Patriots have the second best odds to make the playoffs. And now people are getting behind them. So I'm almost curious if people are excited or they like being the underdog. Because so far, this Patriots group has played very well as the underdog playing from behind. And the one thing about good teams is this: they beat the bad teams. So maybe the Pittsburgh was a little bit of a hurdle there, who might be a playoff team, by the way. But when you beat bad teams, when you're a good team, it's just the proof of you being a good team. All right. We got Kevin Maggiore filling in tonight. I see River back there as well. We'll get Kevin's thoughts on the Bees coming up in a little bit. I know you were chirping with Felger earlier about the. I wonder what you know what jerseys they're wearing tonight.
I would assume the typical home black jerseys.
Home black, huh? You know what I want from you one day, Kevin? Tiers of who will get their numbers retired first. Like Chara probably, right?
Well, he is this year.
Okay, Chara, and then what? Rask or Bergeron?
Bergeron.
Okay,
I think 3 from that era, just 3.
And then obviously, so you don't think Rask gets his?
No, absolutely not. And I love.
Oh my God!
I am one of Tuukka's biggest defenders.
Oh my God!
Never won a cup as a starter. No, number 40 up there. Absolutely not. I love Rask. One of his biggest defenders. Boohoo Tuukka crew card carrying person. Absolutely not 40 going up there.
Oh my God!
Never won as a starter. Multiple guys. One as Tiny Thompson. Why is it number 1 up there? Won a cup, had the wins record. They retired every single digit number back in the 30s, 40s. If Tiny Thompson's not up there, Tuukka Rask is not going up there.
Oh, whoa. I feel like we buried the lead tonight.
If he won one of those 2 cups, absolutely. But he didn't win as a starter, so he doesn't go up there.
Wow.
And again, I will defend that any wall of that guy. The wall I won't defend is the jersey retirement. Bergeron, Chara, Marchand from that era, that's it.
That's your big 3.
Those are the 3.
All right. Kevin Maggiore says Tuukka Rask will not have his number retired. Feel free to call in on that one at 617-779-0985. There's Bill Belichick news out there, and I do want to break down tonight's game as well and just get into Brad Marchand as well. So we'll take a quick break. We'll get your headline here. I'm Joe Murray. You're listening to 98.5 The Sports Hub.
Essential Sports Hub headline presented by Celsius Energy Drinks.
All right, Bruins and Panthers meet at the Garden tonight. Of course, the Bees coming home from their 3-game road trip, and Brad Marchand makes his return to Boston. We have all the coverage coming up at 7 o'clock with the puck drop at 7:30. The NBA season tips off tonight. The defending champion Oklahoma City Thunder take on the Rockets, while the Lakers Bill Belichick at all times. I don't know how this happened. But Bill Belichick is among 12 coaches who have advanced to the next stage of the 2026 Pro Football Hall of Fame selection process. So he's advanced with like Tom Coughlin, Mike Holmgren, Dan Reeves, Marty Schottenheimer, like Mike Shanahan, those guys. So I don't know how Belichick gets left out of the Hall of Fame. He's obviously eligible this year for the first time because they made that rule where if you've been out for a year, you can go right in. So I am curious what the Hall of Fame does. I don't know if they keep him out or blackball or any of that stuff. But he's advanced. So it means he's on the track of going into the Hall of Fame, and it's just very interesting what's happening with him in college and could be going into the Hall of Fame. It's all just very interesting. One other thing I saw regarding NFL related, they're seeing its most points per game through week 7 since 2021. So 46 points, 46.1 to be exact. Games are also averaging their longest since 2021, despite reviews taking a record low time. The culprit, the most penalties in years, which have increased due to more live kickoff plays. So that I saw from Jonathan Jones of NFL on CBS earlier. More penalties, everybody. Yeah. But there's more points, 46. The NFL's happy with it. Did want to just touch on this regarding Brad Marchand's return. I was asked earlier today if he would get a hat trick tonight. And I saw that his anytime goal was right around like 165, 175. So I think that's very possible. I do. Plus, the Bruins love to go to the penalty box, Kevin. That's just like something that they just can't get enough of that penalty box. And, the way that Brad Marchand plays might be a little scrappy tonight with some of the guys. He doesn't know everybody. So that's the whole thing. Like, if it was the regular group, and, maybe they could have some fun. But maybe there were some guys in the locker room that Brad Marchand didn't like. I don't know. Jeremy Swayman might have been one of them. Just one, maybe.
A couple of comments last year, maybe.
Yeah, maybe. So maybe he doesn't get the hat trick. But I just floated out the Gordie Howe hat trick, which would be a goal, an assist, and a fight. So, Kevin, I ask you this. If we were going to put the candidates who would want to go toe-to-toe with Brad Marchand in his return to Boston since winning the Stanley Cup, I said Jeremy Swayman to be cute. Probably won't happen, but give me some of your realistic players that could go toe-to-toe with Brad Marchand tonight.
Well, speaking like realistically, you talk about guys he doesn't know, maybe like a Mikey Acimont or a Henry Yokiharu. Yokiharu's
That's
soft.
all he does. Let him just feed him to Marchand tonight.
So, but a name that I threw out and I don't know anything, I don't have like any sources or anything, but it seemed that Marchand maybe didn't love Zadorov last year. And one of Marchand's current teammates is Nico Mikkola, who is, I just looked up, he's 6'5", about 200 pounds. And Marchand fought him a couple years ago. He got a couple punches in before Mikkola dropped the gloves and ultimately got him on the ground. But I don't think Marchand would be scared of dropping the gloves with Zadorov tonight. He might get beat pretty bad because we saw Sam Bennett, who is a little bit more of even though I think he's a fake tough guy, but he's a little bit more of a tough guy, tough fighter. Got beat pretty bad by Zadorov last year, but I don't think Marchand would hold back trying to fight Zadorov if he had the chance.
So I got to flick this up. I'd be in on that. But what was Zadorov's contract? I'm trying to remember what he got because, again, this was the time where Marchand didn't have an extension, right? The coach at the time did not have an extension. The goalie was kind of holding out. Yeah, he got $5 million a year. What did Marchand end up getting in reality? Was it 7 and change? 7.25, I think it was for Marchand, if I'm looking back. So maybe there's a little something there between those two. I know the game is what we'll get into the game in just a little bit here, but I just feel like I like to use the word theatrics when it comes to Brad Marchand. Like the other night, he got some guy cheap shotted him from the back. He hops on top of him, starts pounding him, and then steals his helmet and takes all the straps off. I mean, I kind of loved it. Didn't you love it? I know he's playing with a bunch of rats in Florida. He belongs with them all, and he makes them great. But to steal a man's helmet and to take the straps off, I don't know if it's going to get that dirty tonight, but I'm looking for theatrics and shenanigans from Brad Marchand in his return tonight, and I bet you everybody will love it if it does happen.
I'm not entirely sure he'll be involved. He could be on the outskirts. If he's on the ice with 3 or 4 guys that weren't here last year, maybe he gets really involved. But I think if anything gets chippy tonight, he might be kind of on the outskirts of it if there's guys like Pastrnak and Zacha and McAvoy out there. I think he might not be involved as much as you think.
Yeah. 5.25. My bad. What did I say? 7.25. 5.25 is the cap hit.
In 6 years was the deal.
Woo.
Yeah.
So Zadorov got more money. Right? If you think about it? Well, not the years, but...
the whole Florida no-state tax thing, I guess in the long run, Marchand gets more money. No, Marchand, because Zadorov got 6 years, $5 million. Marchand got 6 years, 5.25. So Marchand had more.
Okay. But, I mean, at the time, what do you think when he was thinking of Zadorov? Look at this big stiff.
I mean, I didn't love it at the time, and the more it goes, the more I don't love it. I think Zadorov is really good at doing a lot of things, but he doesn't do it all the time. He just does something really good once, and you say, wow, that was great, and then he doesn't do it for 10 games.
Well, I'm going to be locked in for tonight's game, and of course you can hear it here on 98.5 The Sports Hub. The Gordie Howe hat trick, who would it be? Anybody else besides Zadorov?
Oh, in terms of the...
Yeah, I'm just trying to think.
Well, I mean, there was that rumor down the street last year that him and Pastrnak didn't get along. So
yeah.
There was that rumor.
That was the one where he tried to get somebody that worked at the night show in the past, like a predecessor.
Yes.
And he tried to get him fired.
Yes.
Oh, I remember that now.
But there was that came out that him and Pastrnak didn't get along.
Ooh.
And again, I don't have sources, so I'm not going to tell you there was any truth to that at all.
This isn't your source either. This was a storyline. Remember Brad Marchand was like, "You guys look." It was a bad look. Bad look by Marchand. Hey, listen. In the end, Marchand won. Just like Breaking Bad when he says, "I won." Brad Marchand won. He won the battle. He won the contract. He won the championship. Maybe there was an issue between him and Pastrnak, but he won. In the end, Brad Marchand's the winner. So they did him a favor. I'm going to keep saying that. Did him a favor sending him to Florida last year. And, hey, anybody want a piece to fight tonight? I am in on the Gordie Howe hat trick. We'll leave it there. Anything else you want to add to that? I want to get into the game in a little bit. That's it, right?
I'm good.
Okay, good. Thank you. Kevin Majore, everybody. Sticking around, working late. And then he's going to watch the Bruins and cry. Brad Marchand's return to Boston. We'll take a look at the game. There's also a opener tomorrow night. Celtics, we're working on some betting odds, so we'll have that for you coming up. And B's return from the road trip tonight. We'll give you some breakdown. And, of course, Brad Marchand was asked about coming back to Boston. We'll let you hear his comments. We'll do that next. I'm Joe Murray here on 98.5 The Sports Hub.
More Joe Murray coming up on the Sports Hub.
Hey, it's Zoe, and if you've got mold or funky odors creeping around your home or office, don't mess around. Call my guys at Green Home Solutions. They'll restore your air quality safely, and that means healthier air for your kids, your pets, and grandma too. Visit greenhomesolutions.com/Boston to book your free consultation today and tell them Zoe sent you.
All right, what's up, guys? Let me tell you about my friends over at Route 1 Grill House in Saugus. It's the place to be. Their menu, it's got it all. Pizza, ribs, steak tips. Oh, and not to mention a large selection of draft beer, martini list. They got it all. And football fans, you're going to love this. Every Sunday, Route 1 Grill House has 50-cent wings in the Sunday ticket. That's right, every game, all day, and wings. What more could you want? They also provide outdoor seating while the weather's still warm, and they have a beautiful function room. It sits up to 70 people, so you can host your next event there. It's located just before the Sullivan Tire on Route 1 South. It's a family-owned spot. It's one of a kind. Don't get it confused with any of those other restaurants. Make Route 1 Grill House your next dining destination, and be sure to tell the Floramo brothers that Joe Murray sent you.
Catches Law is more than a law firm. It's New England's hometown team, serving the same community that our lawyers grew up in, with integrity and care to get the results you deserve. Need legal help? Call Catches Law today. There's no fee unless you win. Catches Law has recovered over $3 billion for the people from New England.
Hey, it's Beetle from my Ram dealer, 495 Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram in Lowell, where you'll always find the best selection and the lowest prices. And right now, during their Drive into Fall event, you can save up to $14,000 on all new Ram Light Duty, Heavy Duty, and ProMaster vans, or choose the lowest lease payments of the year on all Ram trucks. Remember, every new Ram truck purchase from 495 comes with 2 years no charge maintenance. So go see my friend Tony and his team at 495 Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram in Lowell and save up to $14,000 on your favorite Ram truck. You can always visit them at 495ram.com.
Witch's Woods is back. New England's premier haunted hayride and Halloween scream park, featuring 6 fiendishly fun haunted attractions. For more information, visit witcheswoods.com.
Hi, it's Amanda Meads from Rapid Flow here with my daughter Mia. Mia, there's a lot of drain companies on the radio, but there's only one that's trusted by Mass DOT and Massport. Can you guess which one?
Rapid Flow?
You got it. In this season, you may have friends or fans come in to watch the game at your home or business. So what's the last thing you want on game day?
A sewer backup.
No question. So get the permanent fix now with our no-dig pipelining technology. Call 800-286-FLOW or visit rapidflowinc.com.
With Rapid Flow, one call solves it all.
Everyone has a fave Wendy's Frosty flavor, but try picking your fave from all new Frosty Swirls and Frosty Fusions. Not so easy now, huh? For a fresh way to Frosty, gotta be Wendy's. Open till midnight or later.
At participating U.S. Wendy's, hours may vary by location.
Comcast Business can help turn your small business into a connected, secure, modern business. It's how retailers become constantly connecting must-visit shops. How restaurants become reliably up and running neighborhood favorites. How healthcare offices become the data protecting caregivers that we all depend on. And how wealth management firms become cyber securing guardians of your information. With reliable connectivity, enhanced cybersecurity, and Wi-Fi backup, your business can stay connected and get threat ready with Comcast Business, powering possibilities.
Get started with our reliable business internet. Plus, stay connected when you add Wi-Fi backup for just $35 a month. And ask about a $500 prepaid card on a qualifying gig bundle. Call today. Restrictions apply. Wireless Connect requires business internet for additional monthly charge. Taxes and other fees extra. Prepaid card offer ends 11/16/25.
1-877 Cards for Kids. KARS Cards for Kids.
Ready to get rid of that old car? Donate it to Cars for Kids. Call 1-877-CARS-FOR-KIDS to reach a friendly live agent. Donation's super easy, and your car can be picked up as soon as tomorrow. Call us now, 1-877-CARS-FOR-KIDS.
1-877-CARS-FOR-KIDS. Donate your car today.
Did you know you can donate real estate too?
Snowbound is back at the MCEC November 14th through the 16th. Don't miss over 250 brands and resorts. Mega savings at the Colorado Ski Shop Retail Zone, the new Epic Pass Winter Arcade and East Street Archive Snowboard Zone, and 3 winter film screenings. Plus famous faces, including snowboarding sensation Zeb Powell, professional skier Amy Engberston, Maine's finest athlete Donnie Pelletier, 2-time snowboarding Olympian Shannon Dunn, and many more. Get half price on tickets now by using promo code RADIO at snowboundexpo.com. That's radio at snowboundexpo.com. See you there.
Put a stop to what's bugging you with Burgess Pest Management, the trusted pest control company for me, Mike Felger. I use Burgess Pest Management, and you should too. Go to burgesspest.com.
This hour of the sports are brought to you by Jackson Lumber and Millwork, supplying contractors and homeowners with residential and commercial building materials since 1946. JacksonLumber.com.
Celtics fans, join Felger and Maz on Wednesday starting at 2 p.m. as they broadcast live from Hurricanes at the Garden on Canal Street with Miller Lite before the Celtics home opener against Philadelphia. Miller Lite, official partner of the Boston Celtics. Miller Lite, when it's game time, it's Miller time. Must be 21. Celebrate responsibly.
Quick, smelly.
It's Joe Murray on the Sports Hub.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure it's going to be tough with some people. Like, they won't be able to cheer because I know they don't like the Panthers very much. But, maybe they'll like me enough to give it a little yay out there or something. But, yeah, no, I think that, it'll be, I think there'll be a little bit of love there. Maybe if I do something good, if I do something bad, they'll probably boo me pretty quick. But they're pretty passionate here, so they might have forgot already and just, treat me like any other Panther player.
Sports Hub, I'm Joe Murray. That was Brad Marchand getting emotional talking about returning to Boston and the fans. I think he'll get a standing ovation. He deserves it. Again, he wanted to stay here. The organization did not want to go forward with a long-term deal, and they did him a favor sending him to Florida. So, again, I think he wanted to stay here. He deserves the standing ovation. I know that the Florida Panthers are a tough team to root for, but I also know that Brad Marchand's a great guy to root for. So wanted to just bring up a couple of things regarding tonight's game. He was very emotional, without a doubt, and he said his favorite part about playing in Boston was the fans. Bees now 0-3 on their trip. But here, I'll just dumb it down for you if you haven't been really watching the Bruins this year. They give up a lot of penalties. They're 1-3 this year when they have more penalty minutes than the other team. They have to stay out of the box. The Panthers are one of the best power play teams in the league, and Brad Marchand is a pain, right? Brad Marchand's one of those guys that can really just, you got to be wary of him tonight. And when you look at Florida and what they are, they're one of the, I keep mentioning their power play, but it's outstanding this year. They draw penalties. Florida's drawn 31 penalties this season. They're currently fourth in the NHL with power play points, 16, and they dominate there. That's where the Bruins generally lose. So although I think that they fought back and battled back in games this year, too many turnovers. I'll just mention this about Casey Middlestat was benched in the previous game for Hustadinov. Hustadinov turns the puck over, right? Charlie McAvoy is awful right now on the power play. I don't know what's happened to him. So there are a couple of things, though, that I think are in the favor of the Bruins tonight. 7 of the last 10 regular season meetings between the Bruins and Panthers have been decided by 1 goal. The Bruins hold a 7-2-1 record over Florida, who are 3-4-3 during that span. So I think this is an important game for the Bees, but I think it's just, it's more important to the Bees tonight. Florida will be fine. They'll get their injuries back. They're going to be a playoff. They're going to be a playoff team and a Stanley Cup contender. Like, all that is real regarding Florida. The Bees just keep beating themselves. And I know that Marco Sturm is trying to get them to play a certain way. I don't blame him for what's going on. I don't really blame Don Sweeney either. I think the players on the ice, though, they just haven't been. They've turning the puck over way too much. The lines at morning skate: Geeky, Lindholm, Pasternak, Zaka back at center with Arvidsson and Middlestat, Minton, Isamot, Janot, and then Corrali, Kastelik, and your boy Veal is in there. And then Lowry, McAvoy, Lindholm, Peak, Zadorov, and Yakaharu. So looks like Jeremy Swayman will be in net tonight. Just a couple of things I wanted to mention if you're looking to bet on the game or anybody to watch for the Bruins. Tanner Janot, 5 points in his last 9 meetings against the Panthers. Victor Arvidsson might be a guy to look at tonight for anytime goal. He also has 2 shorthanded goals versus the Panthers. And one other thing I'll bring up, David Pasternak has 4 game-winning goals versus the Panthers. Keep that in mind tonight. But the Brad Marchand, if you're watching for him, anytime goal right now over at DraftKings, if you're looking at that, plus 175 for an anytime goal tonight for him. So, again, the Panthers and the Bruins, they've had many matchups decided by 1 goal, and it's been Pasternak who's been able to shut the door. So we will hand things off to Ryan Johnson and Bob Beers. They'll be on the call tonight. We'll have you post-game until 11 o'clock tonight. So when you're coming home from the Garden, kick it over to 98.5 The Sports Hub. We'll take your calls all night long. We will react to the Bruins returning home from their road trip. And, of course, the return of Stanley Cup champion, 2-time Stanley Cup champion Brad Marchand. Who's he going to get into a mix with tonight? Kevin says Zadorov. I say Swayman. I want the Gordie Howe hat trick. But I hope the Bees come across with a win tonight. So thank you, Kevin Majore, for hanging out. I'll have you guys post-game. Let's hand things over to Ryan Johnson and Bob Beers, Boston Bruins hockey. Coming up next here on 98.5 The Sports Hub.